It is midnight in Washington, 6 in London, and 2 p.m. on a Christmas Eve here in Seoul. I'm Moon Conn-young. Let's get a check out the main stories we're following at this hour. The rail workers' strike enters its 16th day on this Tuesday, despite the government's stance that it has already given the union what it wants. The strike has widened its scope to encompass the nation's two largest umbrella unions, and disruptions in rail traffic and delivery services are widely expected during the busy end-of-the-year season. And new satellite imagery identifies facilities at North Korea's Yongbyon nuclear reactor site that may be producing fuel for its recently restarted 5-megawatt plutonium reactor. Now, this is according to a U.S. think tank, which argues the latest finding indicates a more wide-ranging, extensive effort by North Korea to modernize and restart the Yongbyon complex than previously understood. And UN Chief Ban Ki-moon urges the Security Council to add 5,500 UN troops to the 7,000-strong force in South Sudan amid escalating fighting there. Now, Mr. Ban's plea comes as new details emerge of alleged ethnic killings committed during more than a week of violence there. We'll have those stories and more, but first let us begin this Tuesday afternoon right here in Korea. The nation's labor union groups are on a collision course with the government after the government dispatched hundreds of riot police to arrest key members of the striking railway union on Sunday. ARIRANG News Kim Hyun-ji starts us off.
The Federation of Korean Trade Unions, the nation's largest and oldest trade union umbrella group, says it will participate in a mass protest rally by striking railway workers, set for this Saturday, December 28th, in a show of support for the Korean Railway Workers Union and the Korean Confederation of Trade Unions. Explaining its decision to Arirang TV Tuesday, the FKTU said it was appalled by the government's use of force Sunday when police raided the main office of the Korean Confederation of Trade Unions to arrest key union leaders of the state-run rail operator, Korail. The Korean Confederation of Trade Unions is the second largest trade union center and is considered to be more militant. The FKTU said such plunder of a major labor union federation by the authorities was unprecedented. Korail has been striking for more than 2 weeks in protest of the government's decision to create a subsidiary for a new high-speed KTX train service, saying the move is the first step toward privatization. The government says the strike is illegal, and it dispatched hundreds of riot police to the KCTU headquarters, taking into custody more than 130 railway union workers. The FKTU is demanding the government apologize for the raid and take disciplinary action against those responsible for the decision to use force. Until its demands are met, the largest labor union says it will refuse to talk to the government. In an emergency meeting of union member representatives Monday, the FKTU decided to drop out of the Tripartite Commission of Labor, Management and Government. The decision severs the official channel of dialogue between the nation's labor unions and the government, as the FKTU was the sole group representing labor in the Tripartite Commission, which was launched in 1998. Korail's decision to hire around 500 new workers to replace the striking railway workers has also upset the labor groups. In a cabinet meeting Tuesday, Prime Minister Chung Won called on the striking railway workers to return to work, saying the government has already given its word not to privatize Korail. Kim Hyun-ji, ARIRANG News.
Now, senior foreign and defense ministry officials of South Korea and China have exchanged views on the state of affairs surrounding the Korean peninsula after North Korea's dramatic execution of its leader, uncle. Now, during their first security dialogue in Beijing on Monday, the two sides agreed to boost communication and cooperation, reaffirming that peace on the Korean peninsula was their shared goal. The two nations also agreed to work towards denuclearizing North Korea. As Seoul pointed out that factors that intensify tensions in Northeast Asia, including China's new air defense zone and its territorial disputes with Japan. North Korea appears to be operating a new reactor fuel fabrication plant at its Yongbyon nuclear complex. The U.S.-Korea Institute at the Johns Hopkins University School of Advanced International Studies said on its 38 North website that new satellite imagery suggests that the Yongbyon complex may be producing fuel for North Korea's 5-megawatt plutonium reactor, which is believed to have been reacted starting late August this year. Now, the Institute said the new imagery indicates that the resumption of operations at the facility is more extensive than previously understood. Now, Korean stocks underperformed in 2013 compared to most other developed countries, only ranking 30th on a list of OECD member nations. While the Korean market was considered one of the most popular safe havens in Asia just a few months ago, the Korea Center for International Finance said Tuesday that as of last Friday, the benchmark Kospi was down 0.7% for the year. Now, Korea was among a group of only 5 countries that have seen their main stock markets drop this year. The rest of the OECD saw an increase in 2013. Now, Japan's Nikkei topped the list, rising over 52%. The International Finance Center says the weakened yen as well as the U.S. Fed's stimulus tapering have had a negative impact on Korea's investment sentiment. Meanwhile, here in Seoul, the stock market has crawled higher on this Tuesday as for a 6th straight day of bullish run as a positive U.S. data in the U.S. market have boosted sentiment that the year-end spending will be boosted. As of 1:30 p.m. Korea time, the benchmark Kospi was up 0.5%, trading above the psychologically important 2,000-point level at 2006, while the Tech-Avit Kosdaq was up 0.4%. On the foreign exchange counter, the Korean currency was trading stronger against the greenback at a bit shy of 1,061 won. Investors seeking to grab major Korean assets will have plenty of choices next year, and that is because several conglomerates are planning to sell their affiliates to improve their finances, while the stock market slump is pushing some brokerage firms to the brink of insolvency. Now, Hyundai, Dongyang, Sangyong, Dongbu, and LG groups, all among the country's 30 largest family-controlled conglomerates, have said that they will unload some of their assets or major stakes in affiliates to pay back their debts. Now, Hyundai Group, a separate entity from Hyundai Motor Group, seeks to sell Hyundai securities together with other non-manufacturing units, while Dongbu hopes to raise some $2.8 billion by selling its controlling stakes in its semiconductor and metal units by 2015. Hyundai Motor and its affiliate Kia Motors have agreed to settle lawsuits by paying $395 million to American customers who feel they were misled by the automaker's fuel economy claims. Now, the automakers say customers with affected models sold from 2011 to 2013 can now either choose between a lump sum payment or a lifetime reimbursement. Hyundai says it expects to pay lump sum payments of up to $210 million and Kia up to $185 million. The auto group acknowledged that it overstated its fuel economy claims in November 2012 after the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency pointed out that the inflated numbers in 13 Hyundai and Kia models. A growing number of people in Korea are opting to buy diesel cars because of their greater fuel efficiency. And as our Kim Min-ji tells us, the movement towards diesel is intensifying the competition between foreign and domestic car makers.
Kim Jong-hyun recently bought a new car. After comparing models powered by diesel fuel and those powered by gasoline, he settled on the diesel model. Although the car cost him roughly $1,900 more than the one powered by gasoline would have, he concluded that the diesel car would be more economical in the long run, considering its high fuel efficiency rating.
At first, I was worried about the quality of the driving experience, but now it's much better. At high speeds, it isn't much different than a gasoline car.
In Korea, the diesel car market is gaining ground, and foreign automakers have also seen sales of their diesel models rise. 8 of the top 10 imported cars in Korea are diesel cars, and more than 60% of all imported cars purchased in Korea are diesel.
In the first 3 quarters of this year, sales of diesel cars jumped 90%, while sales of cars powered by gasoline and liquefied petroleum gas have been on a gradual decline. The surge is thanks to the relatively lower maintenance costs and because diesel cars can deliver up to 30% better fuel efficiency than similar performing gasoline-powered cars can. That's good news for local car makers like Kia Motors, which says its new K3 diesel model has been met with a largely positive response from prospective buyers.
When you compare our diesel car to a comparable foreign model, there is an initial price difference of about $7,500. Despite the slightly lower fuel efficiency of the K3, it is more economical if you consider the entire cost of carry.
The growth of the diesel market has ramped up the already fierce competition between domestic and imported car makers. With current market trends set to continue, Hyundai Motor and Kia Motors, the nation's 2 largest automakers, have said they will start producing diesel cars of all sizes, which will likely intensify the ongoing competition. Kim Min-ji, ARIRANG News.
Now, disposing of old home appliances has always been a headache, but a newly developed recycling method is catching on, especially since you can turn trash into cash. Son Jung-in reports.
Most of the discarded home appliances can be recycled, but the hard part is classifying them into the right category. But now, thanks to a new technology, recycling promises a better and more efficient outcome. This is an e-waste collector developed by local researchers that can sort out plastic into 3 different types and separate metals into aluminum, copper, and stainless steel.
The machine sorts out the waste by using near-infrared rays and analyzing the wavelength reflected on the plastic. As for the metals, it separates them by distinguishing their differences in color.
Valuable waste resources that have in the past been difficult to categorize are now expected to show a recycle rate of up to 95% from the current 85%. Experts believe it will kill 3 birds with 1 stone, saving the environment, making money, and creating new jobs in the industry. This method can also be applied to scrapped cars and other wastes from many different business facilities.
The most promising part is to be able to contribute to the economic development in the country by securing a more superior technology than other developed countries.
Experts estimate this new technology will bring about an economic effect worth some $114 million annually by reducing processing times and raising the value of waste materials. Son Jung-in, ARIRANG News.
All of the day's important events. Events close to home, around the world.
Second half blast, figure out what winners.
The arts and culture scene and the heart of global business.
Experts added that
ARIRANG News has your whole day covered.
the legislature will convene a plenary session this Wednesday and vote on the government restructuring.
Now, all foreigners are being warned to leave South Sudan as violence between rebel forces and the government spreads. With reports of hundreds of people killed in fighting between rival factions and over 40,000 forced to evacuate, the United Nations is set to deploy more peacekeepers to the area. Our Shin Se-min reports.
The violence is escalating between rebel forces led by Vice President Riek Machar and the South Sudan government. The rebels have taken over major towns in the oil-producing region, while the international community is on standby for what could be the first civil war in the world's newest country. The conflict started a week ago when South Sudan's President Salva Kiir said forces loyal to Machar attempted to launch a coup, triggering ethnic clashes last week that have so far left hundreds dead. The UN says some 45,000 civilians are currently seeking protection at UN bases in South Sudan. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has asked the UN Security Council to add to the 7,000-strong force in South Sudan amid the escalating violence there. Reports say the 15-member council is likely to adopt a resolution approving about 5,000 more troops and police for the UN peacekeeping mission.
The United Nations will investigate reports of grave human rights violations and crimes against humanity.
U.S. citizens and foreigners from other countries were evacuated from the rebel-controlled town of Bor to the capital city of Juba over the weekend, and on Monday, the United States moved 150 Marines into the unstable state for further evacuations. Meanwhile, a Korean peacekeeping force is set to receive additional ammunition from Japan to enhance its defense capability following a Korean government's request to the UN. The unit of 280 engineers and medics is currently providing protections to thousands of refugees in addition to its work with the UN mission there. Shin Se-min, ARIRANG News.
Meanwhile, Syria has been receiving a substantial amount of crude oil from Iraq through an under-the-radar trade that has kept its military running. Now this, according to a Reuters report based on previously undisclosed documents about Syrian oil purchases. Reuters concluded that millions of barrels of crude oil that were delivered to Syria on Iranian ships actually came from Iraq. Now, the firms in Iraq that are involved deny this claim, but the documents compiled by Reuters show the firms have been demanding a large premium over the regular price to compensate for the level of risk involved. Since the companies are outside of the U.S. and Europe, which have imposed sanctions against Syria, there are no restrictions on doing businesses with Syria. They do, however, face the risk of being blacklisted by Western powers. A severe winter storm that's left hundreds of thousands in the United States and Canada without power could leave some in the dark for Christmas. Around 400,000 people in eastern Canada and 280,000 in the U.S. state of Michigan have no power as of Monday. Utility firms say some may not have electricity until Wednesday or even Thursday. In the U.S., heavy snowfall storms and even tornadoes have caused flight delays and unsafe road conditions, wreaking havoc on Americans' Christmas travel plans. At least 11 people died as the storm system moved over the area, with 5 people killed in accidents on ice-covered roads in Canada. Well, this is the day we've all been waiting for because it's Christmas Eve, and no matter where we are across the globe, we get to meet Santa Claus. But no matter where you are in the world, there is no one way to be Santa Claus, as our Connie Lee shows us through this glimpse of Santas from all around the world.
This is Santa Claus Village in Lapland, Finland. Carrying a sack full of presents, Santa Claus gears up for his ride on a reindeer-pulled sleigh. Before he takes off, he wishes everyone a Merry Christmas in several different languages.
Merry Christmas, Frohe Weihnachten, Feliz Navidad, Joyeux Noël.
He's just one of the Santas from around the world, spreading some holiday cheer this season. It's also a busy time of year for workers at the post office in Santa Claus Village, as workers go through piles of letters sent from children all over the world. And what do the children want?
Well, toys, of course, but then their wishes are also, they want peace on the wall and they want to spend more time with their family.
In Texas, a Santa called Poncho Claus gives out presents to Mexican-American children. They all sing and dance together, wishing one another a happy Christmas.
I want you to roll down the window and yell to the night, Feliz Navidad.
Over in Moscow, hundreds of people dressed up as Santa gather on the streets. They dance to songs played by a brass band, and they all have one wish.
We wish that children suffering from cancer all have a happy new year.
Although they all look different and use different languages, the Santa Clauses of the world are definitely making this holiday season a warm one. Connie Lee, ARIRANG News.
And And now it's time for our daily arts and culture segment. For that, we are joined live in the studio by our Lee Tae-ho. And today, of course, is no ordinary day. Yes, it's Christmas Eve here in Seoul, and Tae-ho brings us a very special piece full of holiday spirit. Good afternoon to you, Tae-ho.
Good afternoon.
So by now, I'm sure everyone is getting weary of this cold winter weather and just dying to get a breath of fresh air. I know I am. And a spice of holiday spirit will do.
Exactly correct. Now, I'm sure I'm not the only one feeling cabin fever, and this exhibition or this festival that I'll be introducing you to today is the perfect way to get some fresh air as well as take in a dazzling light show that is sure to light up anybody's life. Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might, have the wish I wish tonight. If that wish was for memories to last a lifetime with loved ones, then look no further. This is the perfect winter festival to enjoy with your loved ones, be that family, friends, or a significant other. Here at the Lighting Festival, there are currently between 8 and 9 million light bulbs lit up, making it the biggest light festival in all of Korea. Just about a 2-hour drive from Seoul in Gapyeong in the Gyeonggi-do province is the Garden of Morning Calm, where the annual 5-color Starlight Garden exhibition is currently underway. Here, despite the freezing cold winter weather, the only sounds that ring through the gardens are laughters of joy and gasps of awe from crowds gathered from all across the country.
It was really cold at first, but once we started walking and running around, I forgot about the cold. It helped me to appreciate and admire the lights even more.
The Garden of Morning Calm is a flower garden that is over 30,000 square meters in size. It is open to visitors all year round, but the highlight of the 4 seasons is without a doubt the heavenly sparkle of lights that light up the flower garden during the winter season. Every year, select gardens are open for the festival, and this year there are 5 gardens that are open to the public and dressed in the celestial garb of lights, organized under the theme of love. The first garden is the Hometown Garden, which is reminiscent of a small country garden. It is smaller in scale than others, but that makes it all the more cozier and warmer than the rest.
It has been a long time since we came out as a family, and the air is so nice and fresh. Also, the lights are extremely beautiful, so I feel like the trek was well worth it. I feel like I'm being healed.
Another popular attraction is a garden named Road to Heaven. It features a long strip of lights, complete with oversized flowers, that lead up to the Moonlight Garden, featuring a small quaint chapel, as well as reindeer and glowing angels. But the highlight of your journey at this light festival is the Sunken Garden. It inspires nothing but gasps of awe at the magnitude and scale of different trees and shrubberies that come alive with light. Visitors are basked in the warm glow of multicolored lights at every twist and turn. The whole garden itself twinkles like stars, and it embraces both adults and children alike.
We came 2 years ago, and the memories were so wonderful that we came back again. The atmosphere is fantastic today, and maybe because our daughter is a bit older, she seems to be enjoying herself very much. It's just perfect.
The festival offers plenty of photo zones at all the different exhibitions, and there are plenty of other accommodations as well, such as a warm and toasty cafe where visitors can enjoy an assortment of different drinks to melt off the winter chill. The gardens are open every day from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., with extended hours on Saturday evenings until 11 p.m. And at dusk, which is around 5:30 in the afternoon, the garden comes alive with the spectacle of winter lights that is the 5-color Starlight Garden exhibition.
Well, that's absolutely dazzling and beautiful, Tae-ho, and I think this would be a great way to spend the holiday season.
That's exactly correct, and for me it was absolutely breathtaking, and really not even one person that I came across had a frown on their face. Everybody was laughing and playing and running around, and the snow actually really helped the atmosphere of the whole garden as well. Everybody was having snowball fights and sliding on the snow. It was just a fabulous time.
And despite the cold weather, right?
Exactly. Now, it was freezing cold in Gapyeong, but despite all that, all you could see was smiles on the faces of all the families, couples, and the children as well.
Well, all right. Thank you, Tae-ho, for braving the weather to to bring us this absolutely beautiful piece. And I think we would like for our viewers to actually go and visit this site. It's beautiful, and it runs until next year, is it?
Exactly. Now, this the festival runs until March 16th, and if you would like more information, you can always visit the Morning Calm website at www.morningcalm.co.kr, and they have all the different times and holiday openings as well, so you're taken care of there.
All right, thank you, Teo, for that very Christmas Eve story, and we look forward to another story full of Christmas spirit tomorrow.
All right.
And that's all from me at this hour. Thank you for watching. I'll see you back here at 4 p.m. Korea time.